What's up, everybody? I wanted to do something a little bit different with this week's email, so I'm shooting a short video for you that I think is going to be incredibly impactful if you actually put this to use. Otherwise, why would I be taking the time to do this, right? Okay, so there's a common theme that we hear, both with prospective members when they come in for their consultation, as well as existing members who sometimes struggle with what I'm about to talk about. Prioritizing themselves, right? We want to have some type of a health and fitness transformation, but we let everybody else come before us, okay? So what I want to do is I want to talk about this cool little matrix right here and how we're going to make everything that we both need to get done and want to get done in the week miraculously fall into place most weeks, okay? So it all starts with what's called a brain dump. Now, I use this kind of like bougie thing I picked up on Amazon called a brain dump journal. You definitely do not need to go to this extent. I don't know, once it came, I was like, I would have been much better off with just one of my, plain lined notebooks to do this, but I digress. What I do is every Sunday evening, or if there's something going on with the family, I'll do it first thing Monday morning like I did this week. I sit down and I simply brain dump, which means just get all the things that are in my head that I feel like I need, want to get done, or are just stressing me out about the week. I just write it all down, right? Then I sit back and I look at it and I simply label each of the things with one of 4 different labels. Those are urgent and important. These are things that have a deadline and they need to get done or there will be dire consequences. These things I need to schedule and just ensure that they get done. Not urgent and important. These are things that will have benefit, that will have consequences at some point if I don't get them done. But the key word is at some point. And it's easy to just kick the can down the road with these ones because they're not urgent, right? This would be things like prioritizing getting to the gym, taking the time to plan out our meals for the week, setting aside time to read and grow professionally, or get downtime and just shut our brain off, whether that be meditate or just take a walk. But all the things that, they're really important. We know that those are good for our health, but they're not urgent and they're easy to put off because we can easily prioritize this stuff all day, and we need to make sure it gets done. We'll talk about how to do both. Then we get to things that are urgent and not important. These are things that, they have a deadline coming up. It's not really that big of a deal. These are good things to delegate. You can work, like from a business perspective, these are things that I'll talk to the employees, our coaches, about helping me out with. From a family perspective, this may be things that you want to talk to your kids, depending how old they are, your spouse, and split them up. And make sure that they get done by whatever their deadline is. And then things that are not urgent and not important. It would be easy to say like, oh, just get rid of that because I don't need to do these things. But it might be that you really want to watch the newest season of You on Netflix, which a bunch of our members mentioned. And our Friday check-in this week is being really good. Haven't watched it. I don't know. It's okay. The problem is if we're spending time doing not urgent and not important things. For instance, take out your cell phone right now. If you have an iPhone, it's called Screen Time. I'm sure if you have one of those other weird cell phones, like, the real cheap ones that aren't an iPhone. But look and see your screen time. And then don't lie to yourself and be like, well, yeah, it's 6 hours a week, but like I'm doing work. Nope, go ahead and look and see what is actually labeled, productivity. It breaks down by category. How much time are you spending on social media? Because that's going to be pretty telling of, are you doing a lot of not urgent and not important things, right? Okay, so we said I brain dump everything that other side, this is this week's, brain dump everything, that was in my head, right? Did that this morning. Labeled each thing as urgent and important, not urgent and important, urgent, not important, not urgent, not important. The next thing I do is I bust out my planner. I use a Passion planner, pretty cool, dated, shows weekly view. Yes, I am old school. I use pen and paper because I'm a rebel, I'm a risk taker. I don't use a pencil. I use my Passion planner And there's this thing called space of infinite possibility in the lower right-hand corner. And really it's just their area of the planner where it's like write down whatever you want. I just transfer my Eisenhower grid right into here. Now you'll see that this week I only wrote down things that are urgent and important and not urgent and important. It doesn't mean that there are not urgent and not important things that I want to do, but they weren't really, bogging me down this week whenever I brain dump stuff. And I didn't really have urgent and not important things this week, which is pretty cool because I have a lot in previous weeks. But once I get it here, right, the next thing that I'm doing is I'm writing in any standing meetings. That's all that you see here. These are standing meetings or just like a one-off meeting that is immovable. There's nothing I can do about it. And then I get to see this beautiful thing, which is all this open space all over this planner, okay? Managing multiple businesses, I have a lot to do. And I could lie to myself and be like, I'm busy and I could just chase things every single day. But when I take the time at the beginning of the week to get clear on what's urgent and important, I put in my standing meetings, I look for openings, and I make sure that those urgent and important things are prioritized and done by their deadline, right? So I write in, all right, I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do this, then blah, 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 blah. Then I can still see all this further open space, and I can go ahead and drop in the not urgent and important things. But there might even be a better way, and I do this kind of in twofold. I treat my training as a standing meeting that's non-negotiable, okay? Technically, it's not in here right now. I didn't do that yet this morning, but I will drop in and protect the time that I'm going to train each day. Now it's a standing meeting that, just like if your boss said you need to be here at this time, for this meeting, you're not gonna be like, well, this thing came up, or at least you're not gonna do that often, otherwise you're gonna be unemployed. And voila, all of a sudden you're there at that meeting, even though you have all these other things going on in your life. When we treat our training the same, we drop it in with our standing meetings, boom, we got that done. And then we can take all the other not urgent and important things, look around our standing meetings, look around our training, and then we schedule in our urgent and important things needs to be done by this deadline, so I'll work on it then. We can still see our openings, and we can get those other not urgent and important things done. I can't tell you what those are gonna be for you. Like I run a business, it's very easy for me to not do things like post a member testimonial to Instagram this week for a member, right? There'd be no real dire consequences for that like immediately, but if we were never putting out any social proof of, hey, look, here's someone that we've helped, this is the outcome, and we could help you too, eventually, that's pretty important. People would look and just be like, I don't know, these guys just do exercise like everyone else. No, like we actually really, really help people. Here's someone we helped. That's pretty important, but I could keep putting it off and it would be perfectly fine. So whatever it is in your life, put in your standing meetings, treat your training as a standing meeting, schedule in your urgent and important things, then look for the openings where you're gonna do your not urgent and important things and don't keep kicking the can down the road. Delegate as much of your urgent and not important things as you can, and then still prioritize your not urgent and not important things once you've got your stuff, not even necessarily done, but just make sure that you have a plan to get everything else done. And it's okay. It's okay to sit down and watch Netflix. It's okay to, go out with your friends and have some drinks or whatever the heck it is that you want to do that's not urgent and not important. As long as we make sure we're getting this stuff done so that we are gainfully employed, happy, and healthy. Okay? Give it a try. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I'm here for you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.